Coming to you from the lovely city of LaGrange, this is Panther Talk, your weekly dose of world news, trivia, and campus updates. I'm Aria, and here with me is Dee.
Thanks, Aria. We have a wonderful show coming up for you, including info and updates on basketball, lacrosse, tennis, and softball, as well as CE events and the upcoming show, No Exit. So, this is the second episode.
Yes!
We made it through the first one.
We did. I've gotten so many compliments about that first episode. Everybody's really enjoyed it so far.
Yeah.
It's been great.
I've enjoyed seeing the clip of us talking about the Kardashians on Instagram and everyone sharing that. It's really
definitely a highlight of last episode for sure.
So if that's anything to go off of, I'm very excited to make more.
Yes.
I hope we can keep it up weekly. That's the plan right now.
And
And I feel like we have a strong episode this week talking about No Exit.
No Exit and all of the spring sports that are starting.
Exactly. I'm super excited to go see all those. So now, I guess without further ado, let's get into the interview with the three characters in No Exit. I'm including myself.
Yeah.
But with also Karson and Carlie. So let's bring them on the show. All right, guys. Hey.
Hi.
I just saw y'all. We came from rehearsal just like an hour ago.
Yeah, we did.
We definitely did do that.
Yeah.
So, you want to introduce yourselves? What's your major and what grade are you?
My name is Carlie Jones. I'm a theater arts major, and I am a junior.
My name is Karson. I am a senior political science and sociology major.
So, I know, Carlie, you've been in shows before. I've been in shows with you and all that, but I do want to ask, what's it like for you, Karson? You're not a theater major or a minor, and you're just doing this because you want to.
Yeah, it's been fun. You know, I had my debut in
A Few Good Men.
A Few Good Men.
Yeah.
Thank you. I played lawyer number 6. So that was a big role. So it's been really fun getting to do this and just really enjoy it. It's something new. So it's been really fun, and the two castmates have made it very enjoyable.
So, the show, No Exit. It's by Jean-Paul Sartre. I believe I just looked up that last name, how to pronounce it. I think I'm right. So, it's about hell.
Mm-hmm.
What's it like to be in it? It's a story about three people trapped in it and what they kind of go through, why they're there, you know, sort of delving into the mind of people who are in that situation and kind of what would you do? So, yeah, what are y'all thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think it's three people from different backgrounds and different stories, and they're plopped together in a room. They can't exit, obviously, and they're forced to be with each other for basically the rest of eternity, and that in of itself is its own hell, and they have to kind of explore that.
It also deep dives into how hell is just other people, and that's basically the whole premise of what we're talking about in the show. And it's a really cool idea of the title of the show being the main concept, which usually all scripts are just three of us in the room, not being able to leave, not going anywhere. And I think it's really going to captivate our audience because we haven't been able to do something like this in a long time.
Yeah, it's the first time in a long time we've been in the black box, which, for those of you who don't know, above the theater, above the normal price theater, there's a small room where we host normally classes, but also smaller, more intimate shows. And this show definitely calls for that. We're just kind of, once the three characters are on stage, we're kind of just left out there, and there's no going back. There's no going into the wings. There's no scene changes. Like, we're in there, and it is just hell, you know. And it's enjoyable as an actor, but man, I can imagine as an audience member, you're just kind of just like watching these people, kind of just suffering with them.
Yeah.
Kind of figuring out like, whew, what would I do in that situation? I'm just sitting here under these hot lights in these hot clothes being in hell. So I'm excited for that. That's, you know, I am glad I get to be in that sort of situation with the black box and this kind of show. And
It also gets the audience more able to enjoy the show because as we're suffering in the show, they can also be alongside us and be like, oh, wow, this is very
it really feels
uncomfortable.
It feels like they're in the room as well. Yeah.
No, like emphasis on along with you because, you know, when a lot of times we're at the edge of the stage and someone's going to be maybe 2 feet away from you.
Yeah, it's almost like the audience can't escape either. I mean, we're going for an hour and they don't have a break, nothing like that.
No. It's like, you know, we just ran tonight for the first time all the way through and it doesn't feel like an hour, but it's something. It's, it's theater magic, I guess you could say.
Goes through a lot of emotions in just an hour.
Mhm.
I know. Like, I walk out there, I peek my head out, and then flash, I'm getting screamed at by women.
And that's the show. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's a good summary.
Yeah.
Make sure y'all come see it. So if y'all do want to come see it, it will be February 9th through 12th, with the 12th being a 2 o'clock matinee, the other shows being at 7 o'clock. You cannot reserve seats. It's first come, first serve. I'm pretty sure is it students and faculty are free,
I think so.
and then
yeah.
everyone else
It's $5.
$5. So make sure y'all are aware of that and come when y'all can. It's going to be awesome. Anything else y'all want to add about the show?
Yeah, come see it.
Do
It's
we
gonna
want
be
to say
fun.
our character's name?
Oh, I guess that's true. My character is Vincent Crado.
My character is Estelle Delani.
And I'm Inez Serrano.
They're so French.
Very elegant names.
I do want to say, though, that this is not children-friendly
Yeah,
whatsoever.
that's
Make
a
sure,
good
add
point.
that. This is, I'd say, maybe PG-13.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit more.
Definitely PG-13 at the least.
All right, so before y'all go, we're going to have a little trivia segment. See how much y'all know about the trivia. Carlie, I know you probably know most of the trivia, but Karson, I'm curious if you know.
Oh, no.
And Aria, way back there, I'm not sure if she knows some of this stuff as a freshman theater student. So,
I'm going to let Karson do all of these because I know all
Ooh,
of these.
great. All right, I think I can do it.
okay, so let's start off. Which LC professor wrote last year's homecoming show, Tales from the Hill? A, Professor Therese, B, Professor Thurman, or C, Professor Slay?
As much as I would love to see a show written by Dr. Torres, I'm going to have to go with C, Professor Slay.
Correct. He was very involved with everything. He wrote the show. It was great. That show was awesome.
It was.
I got to be a ghost.
Wow.
All right, next question. Who was the lead actor in the film A Few Good Men, which a stage production was put on last year? Now, before I give you these things, you were in it, so
I was. Kind of.
kind of. You were there.
I was there.
Your role was important. You know, the
Mhm.
judge couldn't have done it without you.
That's true. That's true.
So I know this is a hardball. So was it A, Tom Hiddleston, B, Tom Hanks, or C, Tom Cruise?
It was C, Tom Cruise.
Who would have thought? I do want to see Tom Hanks though, as in that role. I love Tom Hanks. It'd be very entertaining. So next question. What is the name of the ghost that haunts Price Theater? A, Freddie, B, Francis, or C, Phil?
Okay, so I have never met the ghost. I have had no interaction with the ghost, but I have heard stories about the ghost. So I'm pretty sure it's A, Freddie?
Correct. And Freddie is very real. Absolutely
He
real.
is.
Everyone has their story. Who works in the theater, students, most of them have Freddie stories. The first 3 years of here, I have not really had any Freddie stories, but just 2 weeks ago, I was up in the black box. Me and Rebecca Powers, we were working on the stage. We were working on the stage in work study, and in that room, it's a fairly decent sized room. We're on one corner. In the opposite end of the room, there's this big heavy metal door, and all of a sudden, the door slams as loud as it could,
Oh, good.
and our hearts sink. We look, oh my gosh, what just happened? So our first thought was like, well, that's just Freddie. Freddie just slammed the door. Sometimes Freddie can get a little agitated. And
What did you guys do to make him so upset?
I
don't
think
know.
I think it's just this show and what we're talking about.
Oh,
Because he
that's
was really
interesting.
active when we did Tales.
That's true.
Huh.
Because we were talking about him.
So do you think
Mhm.
he's upset about it, or do you think he's like, I like that you guys are talking about something I understand?
That's that's a
Maybe.
good question. I don't know.
Because it's almost like he can't leave Price Theater. So it's like, this is like
Yeah.
reminding Freddie of what he's going through.
Yeah.
How
well,
can I ask how you came up with Freddie?
I don't know. That's just been no. It's the actual name of the person who passed away, who died in the
Yeah.
theater when
What?
Yeah, this
when-
is an actual person that
when-
died.
was it
Oh.
the theater being constructed or the
It was
refurbishing
being constructed, yes.
was being built? A guy was up on a catwalk and he fell.
I'm so sorry, guys. I have to drop out of the play. That's terrifying.
Because,
Don't worry.
it was
He
on
wasn't on that side of the theater. He's on the other side.
it was on the main stage that he fell.
That's the story. That's the story.
Because he was on that catwalk and he fell onto the main stage at Price.
Yeah.
They don't tell you this when you're like touring. This is a
No,
kept
I think that'd be
secret.
pretty weird to bring up.
It
Hey,
would, yeah.
this is where this.
No, I know prospective students sometimes don't appreciate, being told that, a guy fell and
Yeah.
whatever.
I don't think so.
I'm sure every place has its, dark secrets,
That's
but
true.
it's, brush them under the rug. We don't really care. But Freddie is definitely real. Tons of stories. Have you had Freddie's story?
I mean, mine's a little. When I was working on Tails, he would just move my equipment all around where I couldn't find it. But it's also where I'll just see a glimpse of him as I'm walking by. I'm like,
What does he look like?
He's just this. So the best thing I can describe it is if people ever seen the build of Professor Hopper, he looks exactly like that build. Because I was walking past him.
So like a 6'5" mountain of a man.
Yes.
Are you sure that it's not just Professor Hopper?
No, because I looked and I turned on the lights when I walked past, and nobody was in there. Thank you very much, Karson, for bringing that up.
Just had to check for all the skeptics out there.
You can't punch holes in this theory. He's real. You can't convince me
Okay.
otherwise.
All right.
Yes, Karson, there is nobody
I
in
apologize. He's gonna come after me now that I've said this.
Well,
He's gonna know.
I'd see Freddie is mostly a friendly guy.
Oh, okay.
And, to keep him happy, Hopper, sometimes whenever there's a Georgia game, he on the radio in the shop, Hopper will leave it on when Hopper leaves because Freddie likes to listen to the Georgia game.
Freddie gets so mad if Hopper doesn't leave on the radio. He will get so mad.
And
That's
there's been
so
times where, like, during
interesting.
a show, like, lights won't work. They're like, why aren't lights working? Hopper goes up there. All the cables have been pulled out and coiled perfectly. Like, they've been put up perfectly. It's like, why would Hopper do that?
Huh.
He has to go up there and do it by himself. So,
Wow.
He wants to feel included. Like,
I guess.
well, he certainly includes himself.
Yeah.
Well, that's enough for the Freddie. So, let's move on to the last question. How many years has it been since the show has been held in the Black Box?
Okay. This one I don't know, but okay. So I know it was, I think, before COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
Do you want me to give you the answer, the possible answers out loud?
yeah.
So was it A, 2, B, 3, or C, 4?
4? C? 4.
Correct. The last show that was in there was, I believe, Blithe Spirit, and that was the year before I got here, so 4 years ago. Senior in high school. Yep. So that's super excited to be in the Black Box again to do a show. I've never had that chance to do that, so I'm sure Carlie is as well. So it's really cool. So thank y'all guys for coming. Glad y'all can come and talk about it. I'm excited to continue rehearsing and put on the show next week.
Thanks for having us.
thank you. Oh my gosh. Freddie.
Yeah.
Holy moly. I
you-
didn't know any of that.
Yeah, you didn't.
I knew about Freddie because when I was in high school, my theater teacher told me because she also went to LaGrange College. But I did not realize that he was as active as he is. And he's kind
Oh
of,
yeah, no.
he's a little scary, but you know what? That's okay.
He's a friendly. No one's ever said he harmed them or even when the door slammed when I was up there, it was never a bad presence or anything. Just kind of spooky, which I like spooky.
See, I'm just a scaredy cat, so that would not go over well with me.
Well, as long as I've never heard him chasing anyone, so you're good for there.
Okay. That makes me feel a little better, I guess.
All right, now we're gonna move on to some college tips.
College tips. You want me to take it again?
Go ahead.
Freshman giving the college tips.
Absolutely.
Favorite part. College tip of the week. Here we go. Save money by eating in the Pitt's dining hall. We already have to have a meal plan, so we might as well just save up on groceries. Because, it's college. Life is hard. Money is hard. And get eaten in calf is always a good option. Or the grill. You can use a little meal exchange for whatever
yeah.
you're feeling.
Yeah. Never forget to eat. Make sure you are
Mhm.
eating. It's so important, and it's
Very
It's
true.
easy. Just going in, getting food. It's easier when you have an apartment and you can buy some groceries.
Yeah.
And you can cook stuff in the kitchen and everything. But you always have the dining hall, and it's worth it to go and eat. So I highly recommend it.
Yeah. For all
It's
the
not bad.
freshies out there, go eat. Because we don't have kitchens or anything. Some of us don't even have microwaves or fridges. I know I do.
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful for that because I can just whip up something if I ever need to, if I'm in a rush. But if you guys don't have that, go eat or get some snacks and have them in your
Definitely. Definitely. All right. Let's move on to the sports update.
Go Panthers!
Upcoming sports. Men's and women's basketball play on February 7th. Women's at 5 p.m. with men's at 7 p.m., both playing Piedmont at home.
Oh, yeah. I actually got to catch the last, 5 minutes of the last home game that we had on the 31st of January.
Yeah.
And it was a really great game, what I got to saw.
That's awesome.
What I got to saw? Let me correct my grammar. What I got to see. Thank you. Signing off.
All right. Men's lacrosse at 5 p.m. at home against Point on February 8th.
Yes, lacrosse. I've never been to a lacrosse game before.
I have. It's interesting.
Really?
I didn't have lacrosse at my high school, so it was the first time seeing a lacrosse game, and it's intense, but it's really cool.
Yeah, I didn't have lacrosse at my high school either.
Apparently, this is real big,
Yeah.
and real big here, and I love watching it. I have a good friend in lacrosse.
Awesome.
He also writes this. Can you believe it? He writes the script for the podcast.
Script for the podcast. What?
Softball versus Reinhardt at 3 p.m. on February 9th.
Yeah, softball.
Men's and women's tennis at 11 a.m. on February 10th.
I used to play tennis when I was little, actually.
Really?
Yeah. I had a really great time. Then I had to stop because I was dancing. Yeah.
My friend taught me how to play tennis the other summer, and it was really fun. And I
Wow.
came here and I stopped because I was busy, but I love tennis. It's very fun. And men's and women's basketball also on February 10th playing Aria at home starting at 2 p.m. I hope that's how you pronounce that.
Another basketball game. That's super exciting. Again, big basketball fan.
Definitely. Here's some sports results from last week. We got a loss versus Huntington women's basketball for 59-56. Not a bad score, though.
Not a bad score, but I know that was a hard loss on them.
Yeah.
Because my RA, Kinsey Hornsby, is like the team manager or something.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what she is, but I don't really know. But she was talking to us about that, and it was a hard loss, but they played really good from what I heard.
That's great. Got a win versus Huntington men's basketball, 80-74.
Yeah.
Congrats, guys.
Mm-hmm. It was a really close game there for a minute. Like I said, I got to see the last 5 minutes of that game, and I mean, they fought hard for that win, and it worked. I mean, it was back and forth for a long time, and that 5 minutes lasted 30. But they pulled it off. Go Panthers.
Yeah, go Panthers. All right. Now, we move on to interest group, college event CE event updates. You want to take that?
Sure. We have a student leadership event on February 7th at 7 p.m. in Corn Auditorium. So in this interactive workshop, participants will explore how to work through student leadership and how it supports diversity, equity, and inclusion on campus. I have been to both of these that have been in the previous weeks so far, and they actually have been really beneficial because I'm also, if you're going to apply to be an RA or an orientation leader, these are required. So if you haven't been to the other two, you should definitely go to this one but it's just been so beneficial to learn how to lead on campus and be inclusive and include everybody and not just a certain group of people, which I don't have, we don't have this issue on campus really ever, but I can definitely see in other environments that could be an issue, but it's really beneficial. It's really a great thing with Dr. K.
Yeah, I can see how even if we don't have giant groups, where there's a problem of connecting, it probably just helps. I know there's, I myself, my freshman year, I was a bit of a loner, and I'm sure when you go to these, you can help include people, learn how to really make sure everyone feels comfortable and want to just jump in and do stuff.
Yeah, it's also a virtual lecture and tour. The Chinese American Exclusion and Inclusion on February 9th at 11 a.m. in the Corn Auditorium as well. So the Chinese Historical Society of America, located in San Francisco, will present a virtual lecture and tour about the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882, which was legally enforced until 1943. Huh, I didn't know that.
Wow, that sounds really interesting. That's a cool piece of history.
I'll have to go check it out.
Cool learning about. We got Yoga on the Hill on February 9th at 11:30 a.m. Jones Zone, the first floor of Turner.
Yeah, yoga.
The yoga's going really well.
I heard that too. I still have not been able to make it to a yoga class, and I'm very upset about it. because I'm balancing, I have lift meetings every other week, and, on the off weeks, I'm usually working on other things like lines and music and stuff. But I definitely plan on going because I did yoga when I was dancing in a studio, and I mean, it just feels so good on your body.
Yeah. No, as soon as No Exit closes, I may I may need some yoga after that.
I know that's been a lot. Y'all had to how long did y'all have to put that show together? What, 4 weeks?
I think
5?
it was. I think it's been 4.5 maybe.
Wow.
We started the second week back from school, and we've just not stopped. It's a lot, but it's worth it.
That's
and
awesome.
I hope it's going to be a good show. I know
Go
it's
y'all.
going to be.
I'm super excited to come see it.
I'm also glad. I'm also excited for it to be over and have a rest. But,
yeah.
It's going to be worth it.
Y'all hit the ground running since we got back from break.
Y'all been working hard on another show coming up in March, is it?
Yes, the last week in March before spring break. It's exciting.
Exciting stuff. That was a musical. A lot more fun than
The Marvelous Wondrous.
have a good what's the word? Good opposite of hell. You get a fun musical.
Well, fun little spunky musical about high schoolers in their prom, and then the 10-year reunion, which we'll get into more later when we get closer to the show.
We'll get there when we get there. All right. So we want to thank the lovely cast of people who have helped put this show together.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this script was written by Trip Floyd, produced by Erika Hill and Kelton Hunt, audio engineering by Stevie Nicks, audio editing by Keanthony Sills, audio mixing and mastering by Eddie Montgomery,
huzzah,
graphic designs by Emily Childs,
woo.
And music by Jacob Broom.
Yes, the awesome little jingle. Jingle jangle.
Well, thank again, Carlie and Karson, for coming and letting us talk to them about No Exit.
That was a great conversation to hear from behind the scenes. Again, all the Freddy stories.
I saw you reacting when you were back there, and you were just like, "Oh my gosh!"
Because I'm not a ghost fan. Sorry about it. I'm just such a big scaredy cat. But just getting to hear about the show too was also really exciting because I don't really know anything. I've never read No Exit before. But I am super duper excited to come see it. And you guys are going to do a fantastic job.
I think a lot of people are really, really going to be surprised with how much they like it.
Yeah.
All right.
And that is our show. Thank you all for listening.
Goodbye for now, and have a good one, Panthers.
Bye, y'all.